is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. The lower an individual's ability to lead, the lower the lid on his potential. The higher the leadership, the greater the effectiveness. To give you an example, if your leadership rates at 8, then your effectiveness can never be greater than a 7. If your leadership is only a 4, then your effectiveness will go no higher than 3. Your leadership ability, for better or for worse, always determines your effectiveness and the potential impact of your organization. Now I have to say that in part I do agree with most of what he says there. However, I personally believe, because of all the leadership training I've done and had, you can learn to be a leader. You can learn the skills. You might not be a JFK or a Winston Churchill at it, but you can become an effective leader, okay? So he's talking, though, mostly about some of these big-time executives that he deals with, okay? And he gives a little story here. So to go on, let me tell you a story that illustrates the law of the lid. In 1930, two young brothers named Dick and Maurice moved from New Hampshire to California in search of the American dream. They had just gotten out of high school, and they saw few opportunities back home. So they headed straight for Hollywood, where they eventually found jobs on a movie studio set. After a while, their entrepreneurial spirit and interest in the entertainment industry prompted them to open a theater in Glendale, a town about 5 miles northeast of Hollywood. But despite all their efforts, the brothers just couldn't make the business profitable, so they looked for a business opportunity, a better business opportunity, the new opportunity. In 1937, the brothers opened a small drive-in restaurant in Pasadena, located east of Glendale. As people in Southern California became more dependent on their cars in the 30s, drive-in restaurants sprang up everywhere. Customers would drive into a parking lot around a small restaurant, place their orders with car hops, and receive their food on trays right in their cars. The food was served on china plates, complete with glassware and metal utensils. Dick and Maurice's tiny drive-in restaurant was a great success, and in 1940, they moved the operation to San Bernardino, a working-class boomtown 50 miles east of Los Angeles. They built a larger facility and expanded their menu from hot dogs, fries, and shakes to include barbecue beef, pork sandwiches, hamburgers, and other items. Their business exploded. Annual sales reached $200,000, and the brothers found themselves splitting $50,000 in profit each year, a sum that put them in the town's financial elite. In 1948, their intuition told them the times were changing, so they made modifications to the restaurant business. They eliminated the car hops and started serving only walk-up customers. They reduced their menu and focused on selling hamburgers. They eliminated plates, glassware, and metal utensils, switching to paper products instead. They reduced their costs and the prices they charged customers. They also created what they called the speedy service system. Their kitchen became like an assembly line when each person focused on service, with speed. Their goal was to fill each customer's order within 30 seconds or less. They succeeded. By the late 1950s, annual revenues hit $350,000, and by then, Dick and Maurice split net profits of about $100,000 a year. Who were these two brothers?
McDonald's.
On the front of their tiny small store hung a neon sign that said simply, McDonald's hamburgers. Dick and Maurice McDonald had hit the great American jackpot. And the rest is history, right? Wrong. The McDonald's never went further because of their weak leadership and the lid on their ability to be successful. Here's the story behind the story. It's true that the McDonald brothers were financially secure. Theirs was one of the most profitable restaurant enterprises in the country, and their genius in its customer service and kitchen organization, which led to a new system of food and beverage service, was in fact one of the greatest in the country. Their talent was so widely known in the food service circles that people from all over the country wanted to learn more about their methods. And they did that for years. And it goes on for another 2 pages. Basically, they franchised the business. And in franchising, in about 5 years, they opened up I think they have 15 franchises. Yes. Out of the 15, 10 did make a go of it. What happened is the brothers ended up partnering with a man named Ray Kroc. Now, Ray Kroc's leadership lid was much higher than the McDonald's brothers. Ray Kroc, when he joined the organization in 1954, he had been selling milkshake machines to the McDonald brothers. And he had a vision that he could see many McDonald's stores as franchises. So for many years, what he did is he came on with the McDonald brothers. He bought one of the franchises to use as a promo to show people what it would look like. And within like a 10-year period of time, he had almost 500 McDonald's franchises that were up and running and profitable. At that same time, the McDonald brothers sold the whole corporation to Ray Kroc for a sum of $2.7 million. He bought the exclusive rights, and that became the McDonald's Corporation. So, although the McDonald brothers had leadership skills, and they were very efficient at making some money and making a living for themselves, they didn't have that extra enthusiasm, oomph, whatever it took to get them to be where Ray Kroc took them. The other thing that's interesting is if you go into a McDonald's today, most of the workers today